coders, what's up? July 10th. Under a month left until school starts. But I'm working hard for you guys. Now, we have just been talking about some HTML and CSS, and hopefully you guys can remember all that information. We're going to keep on reviewing it as we go. Again, it's going to sound redundant, but that's good because it will stick in your heads. Now, we're going to start learning a few extra things about HTML and CSS. Remember, HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, is just your basic information of what is on your web page. Pictures, text, whatever. CSS is the style, what the colors look like, what the fonts, what font style you might choose, any sort of layout options, which we'll get into. So in this video, we're going to talk about two things. Links, so how to link from your website to a different website, like if you want to give your image credit to where you stole it from on Google, which is always good, no plagiarism, or an internal link, which is when you have a really long website and you might not want somebody to have to scroll all the way through it. You can put a link at the top that they can click and it will bring them to a different spot in your website, not an external link. So the first thing is look at the website I have here. Just very, very simple. I just copied and pasted some stuff. I didn't do this correctly. I should have given credit and stuff, but this is just for an example. I'm not trying to sell this as my own, so it's not copyright infringement or plagiarism here. So, website called The Sun. I have a link here, center of the sun, and it goes on information about the sun. There's a picture here, so you should kind of know what this stuff looks like in HTML. This is a large text, so it should be like an H1 header. This is a little bit smaller, so this would be like H2 or H3. This is a link that we're going to talk about how to do. This is an image. You should know how to do an image tag. It's IMG and then SRC for your source, and you have to have it in quotation marks. So remember how to do all that. These are all paragraphs, so the P tag, start and end tags. And so we're going to add, I'm going to show you how this link is made. That brings us to a Wikipedia page on the Solar Core. And then I'm going to show you how to make a link up here that actually brings you down somewhere into this information so you don't have to scroll. Now, this isn't that big of a website, so it might not be necessary, but you'll get the point. All right, so let's look at the code behind that. So here's the HTML. I don't have the doc type and all that because this is just a simple example. I'm not actually putting this on the web. Notice down here, though, it does say it's in coding, so that already is known. But we won't worry about that. So here is that link that you saw that said center of the sun. And notice I have a paragraph tag, start, and an end tag. Remember the end tags have forward slashes. And then I have something called an anchor tab, which is this A. See right here, there's an A and then the forward slash A for the end tag. And then inside I have something called an href, which stands for hyperreference. All the H's in HTML always stand for hyper. An equal sign, quotation marks around a link, just like when you would put an image in. So this is kind of like an image, except instead of IMG source, it's an anchor tab or A tab tag here, and then href or hyperreference. Like, here's the reference. This is where I got it from. Go check it out. So this is how you would link to an external website. So I'll show you, let's do another one. So we would put it inside a paragraph tag because we want it to kind of stand on its own. Now, if we wanted to put it just somewhere inside of a paragraph, we would just put an anchor tag somewhere inside of a paragraph. Actually, let's show you how to do that. I'd rather do that because you already can see this one. So take note on this one, how this looks. And I'm going to put a link. Here's the word convection zone. Maybe people won't know what a convection zone of the sun is, so maybe I want to put a link to that. So what I would do is, since it's already inside a paragraph, I don't want to make it its own little link all by itself. I want it just to be some words inside the paragraph that you click and it brings you somewhere else. So we need an anchor tab tag for that. I don't know why I see tab. Probably because it's early and well, not too early. Maybe I'm just tired. Who knows? All right. So I'm going to put an anchor tab right around the word convection zone. Don't forget your end tag has a / in it. So right now this is an anchor to something. We haven't put anything yet. It's going to be to something. Now for our link, we need to put it inside the start tag. So see how it says A has the href up here with the website, the quotation mark, and then it has the angle bracket at the end. So we actually have to put this is called an attribute. We're putting this inside of the beginning anchor tab. So in here, I'm going to click inside my anchor tab, and I'm going to do hyperreference, so href equals quotation marks, and this should look familiar because all the images and links and stuff like this always have equal quotation marks. And now I need to find a link for the convection zone of the sun. So let's go convection zone of sun. I'm going to pick the first website I see. And so here it is. I'm going to copy this URL, go back here, and I'm going to paste it in there. And don't forget your end quotes. Khan Academy automatically puts end quotes for you, but anytime you're coding in some other platform, it doesn't. So we put the end quote. And now let's save it and go see what that looks like. So I'm going to get out of this. And so we still have the link up there, but now there should be a link somewhere. Here it is. See, we can see the convection zone. It's just underlined and kind of highlighted here. So if people are reading this and they don't know what a convection zone is, well, we can click it and it will bring us to the website that we put in the link. So pretty cool. Pretty darn cool, eh? Wow, I've spent way too much time talking about this. So an internal link is going to have to be in the next video. So just to recap real quick here. External links to go to an external site outside of your site has to have the following. It has to be in some sort of paragraph. It could be a heading. So if I wanted to add a link to inside the sun here, here's what I would have to do. I have to put an anchor tab. It's got to be in an anchor tab. Hyperreference equals whatever the website URL is, in quotes, and I put my ending angle bracket here for the anchor tab. Don't forget, you have to have we started an anchor tab, so you have to end the anchor tab on the other side of it, and this is what an internal link would look like. We put href equals whatever the URL is in with our start anchor tag, and then we end it inside of a heading, inside of a paragraph. We could even do that around an image, but we can get into that later. All right, so there you go. The next video is going to have how to do an internal link, since I talked too much in this one. Sorry.